Welcome to Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And good morning, Keys. It is Keys 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. Good morning to you on this Monday morning, the 13th. Lucky number 13, but it's going to be a lucky day. We'll check your forecast. Right now it is 87 degrees. Going to be another warm one as we get into the middle of July. Hard to believe that that's the case already, but it certainly is. But we want to say good morning right away to our Mayor, Denise Henriquez, Mayor of the City of Key West. Good morning to you, Madam Mayor. How are you today?
Good morning and happy Monday.
And happy Monday to you. So it's a bright, sunny day. We're happy to be here, and we have a busy week ahead of us. Let's mention, though, Duval Donates, a very successful initiative that just happened.
No, Duval Donates is going to be this Saturday.
Oh, I am on jet lag. I'm sorry. It's this coming Saturday. Yes, ma'am. Please clarify and continue, if you will.
Yeah, no, so it's going to be this Saturday. It is Duval Donates, and it's a party with a purpose. So, Michael, the 200 block of Duval and Green Street will be closed. All of the bars are coming together for the first time. Every bar, there's like 10 bars, maybe even more, on the 200 block that are going to fundraise through the Key West Police Department Love Fund to benefit Officer Mike Petty and Deputy Tiffany Rhoda, who works with the Sheriff's Department. Their house caught on fire and they lost everything. So there's going to be live local music, games, food, drinks. It's just going to be unreal. I believe it starts at 6 p.m. Come on down for a great time, for a great cause. And actually, I believe I'm going to be in the dunk tank. Yes, I've never done that before, but I will be, I believe, in the dunk tank. So come on down, and I guess you could dunk the mayor.
Some people may want to do that, but all in good fun, of course.
Yes, exactly.
So that is this Saturday. What a great cause. It will be the Love Fund, again, stepping up for those officers in need as they always do. And by the way, speaking of Duval Street, we
10.
do want to mention, yes, ma'am, absolutely. We do also want to mention Caffeine Carl Wagoner, who passed away. He was a staple down on Duval Street as well. A very well-known and beloved musician locally for many years in Key West.
Prayers to all of his family.
Yes, ma'am. Well, and indeed, we wanted to also talk about August 4th. Speaking of businesses, Carrie Baker was telling us about this last week on the air. It will be a chamber roundtable of businesses with the city, in conjunction with the city. And you had mentioned this had been done with the Board of Realtors. Now the Chamber of Commerce is collaborating to do a similar type of program. Tell us about that, please.
Yeah, so in April, we did it with the Realtors Association. We did a roundtable luncheon and with the city staff, and they had not done that in a very long time. And it was really great to have our realtors interact with our staff, talk about code, licensing, whatever their issues were. They were able to put a name with a face and just kind of bring the city and the Realtors Association together. And so then I had committed to the business community. So this Tuesday, August 4th from 11:30 to 1:30, it's going to be in the chambers. It is hosted by the City of Key West and the Greater Chamber of Commerce. Roundtable discussion. And so please, business owners, managers, supervisors, support staff, there will be various members of our city staff to answer any questions that they may have. And again, it's to put a name with a face and build that partnership, exchange phone numbers. So if they have any questions, they have a direct connect. And it's all about building those partnerships and open communication, with our community. So please mark that date down on your calendar. I will remind you every Monday until the actual date. And also on August 4th, that evening is National Night Out with our Key West Police Department and the Monroe County Sheriff's Department. And that will be starting at 5:30 at Truman Waterfront Park. So August 4th, we have the Business Community Roundtable and then the National Night Out. So I'll just keep reminding everyone every Monday until that day comes.
Very well. Again, it's Mayor Denise Henriquez with us, Mayor of the City of Key West on Good Morning Keys. Had I looked at the City of Key West-fl.gov website before making my statements, I would have known that the Duval Donates is this coming Saturday instead of last Saturday. That is right there, prominently displayed. Also displayed is a City Commission budget workshop coming up a week from today. But it sounds like you had mentioned to me anyway that you're going to be briefed on the proposed budget this morning.
I am. So my first interaction with the finance department, all of us received our budget packets over the weekend. So everybody was busy looking at the budget. And my first interaction with the finance department will be at 11 o'clock, and we'll start working numbers and looking at the budget for the first time. So we'll be prepared for July 20th. That starts at 9 a.m. and that will be here in the chambers, and it will also be on the 21st if needed. And if we do, that'll start at 9 a.m. as well.
So, what does happen at a city commission budget workshop? Who attends? What occurs there? Are there actual changes made to the budget there, or does that then have to go before the commission?
So it will be before us as far as the commission on July 20th. It's open to the
Okay.
public. They're able to make comments if they need to. So what will happen is our finance director, she will actually go through the budget, and there'll be a lot of interaction, a lot of questions. Some of the commissioners may want to vote not to have this service or add the service. So there'll be lots of conversations. I will tell you, our city manager, is really cutting back on our budget this year, and he's looking at a 5% rollback. So we'll see how it goes. It'll be up to the will of the commission.
And I was going to ask if you've had any inkling, so to speak, of where we might stand, but it sounds like there will be some trimming happening. And then when is the millage rate ceiling set?
In September. So
September?
we have to have, yes, we'll have to have public hearings, public meetings and hearings, public meetings. I believe we're required to have two, but September will be the final millage rate.
Okay. And then, but leading up to that, then this all goes into that determination based on how the budget workshops come together, right?
That's
Yeah.
correct. So what they'll do is the staff will listen to the commissioners and myself, and whatever we decide, then whether it's a 10%, 5%, 3%, whatever we decide at that time, then they will have to go back and crunch some more numbers or whatever direction we give them. And then they'll come back again, I believe in August and then in September.
Okay, Mayor Denise Henriquez with us, Mayor of the City of Key West on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. So a busy week ahead, as always.
Yes.
We do have a slate of meetings and different events happening. Would you like to highlight those for the week?
Yes. So today, Monday, like always, come down, meet the mayor. I wasn't able to be here last week. I was out of town. So come on down Monday morning, or 2 p.m., I should say, 2 to 4. Come on down and meet the mayor. Tonight, starting at 5:30, is the Bahama Village Redevelopment Advisory Committee meeting. That will be in the chambers again, starting at 5:30. I looked at the agenda, and one of the items that said Black Educators History Museum scheduled update. So they're going to give an update on the Black Educators History Museum. Wednesday, it is the bite board that will start at 4 p.m. in the chambers. And then right after that at 5:30 would be the Art in Public Places Advisory Board, 5:30 in the chambers on Wednesday. Thursday, we have a planning board meeting starting at 5 p.m. So there's a couple things on the agenda you may want to look at. And then on Friday, it's plogging, early bird cleanup that will be co-hosted by Irish Kevin's and the Military Affairs Committee. So everyone will meet in the parking lot behind Irish Kevin's off of Ann Street, and plogging will start at 8 a.m. And then again, this Saturday, just to remind everyone, Duval donates. So please go down there, have a great time. 100% of the proceeds will go to the Key West Police Department Love Fund.
Well, also, Mayor, from the Public Information Officer, Allison Crean, she does such a terrific job keeping the public and the press informed about happenings, not only at City Hall, but also with the City of Key West Police Department. But the City of Key West invites residents, business owners, community organizations, and stakeholders to participate in the upcoming public engagement meeting for the Key West Forward Foster Fund Finished Strategic Plan 2026 to 2030. And that meeting, we'll talk about that again at a couple of future dates, but it will happen Wednesday, July 29th, 2 to 4 in Chambers.
That is correct. So we always look forward to those updates as well. So as you can see, there is a lot going on this week with all of the different, in meetings with the bike board, the BVRAC, the planning board, plogging, art in public places. So go onto our website, look at their agendas, get informed, and try and participate in any of those meetings you may have interest in.
Yep. And by the way, one final mention of an initiative that you had started in collaboration again with the Chamber of Commerce, the Key West Keep Key West Beautiful Beautification. Yeah. That's it. Sarah Beth's has been awarded the Business Pride Award for the month of July based on beautification. So thank you to them and to you for that initiative as well.
And then just one little shout out to Floyd with Cops and Kids yesterday. I went down there to Truman Waterfront, and what a success that was. It was a lot of fun. Kids were running around everywhere. It was just a great event. So a shout out to Floyd over there at the police department.
Floyd, a very hardworking guy, a great ambassador for the city of Key West and the police department as well. So thank you to him, and thank you for that shout out. I think we've covered all of it, unless there's anything else you need to mention before you get on with a very busy day, Mayor.
No, I just want to say thank you. Have a great week and be safe out there.
Thank you. Thanks to all, and thanks for your service as well. Go to cityofkeywest-fl.gov to find out more. Thank you, Mayor. Have a wonderful week. We'll talk soon.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Mayor Denise T.D. Henriquez with us, Mayor of the City of Key West. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. And that, let's take a look here at the weather forecast here. 86 degrees currently in Key West. We are looking for a high of 91. Slight wind, 5 to 10 miles per hour, but sunny skies otherwise. Partly cloudy tonight, low around 85. Tomorrow, sunny, 92. Winds around 10 miles per hour, but both days, no mention of rain. How about that? Wednesday, slight chance of showers at 10%, mostly sunny with a high near 93. And Thursday, it is a 10% chance of precipitation. Again, 92 for your high. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. We'll return with more Good Morning Keys in a moment.
Good morning, dear. Breakfast almost ready?
In a minute. So did you happen to call someone about spalling repair for the house?
You know what? I knew I forgot something yesterday.
Honey, you know how important spalling repair is, especially here in the Keys. If that spalling damage gets any worse...
Don't worry. I'll call Design Center in Marathon.
When?
Today.
How about now?
Okay, dear. Now.
Design Center, the most efficient spalling contractor in the Keys, providing the fastest results. With over 40 years combined experience in spalling repair and a member of the International Concrete Repair Institute, Design Center can handle the largest jobs to small structures. They also handle quite a number of condominium and county projects. Mention this ad or the program you're listening to and receive 10% off your spalling repair. Visit DesignCenterFL.com or call 305-735-4042. Design Center, 6677 Overseas Highway Marathon. License number CGC 1523838. Remember, mention this ad or the program you're listening to and receive 10% off your spalling repair from Design Center.
This is Ollie North for 4-Star Rentals. 4-Star Rentals is the most complete rental store in the Keys. They can provide rental equipment for every do-it-yourself project from your house to your yard. Bobcats, chippers, chainsaws, and tile saws, you name it, they have it. They also deliver throughout the Keys. That's 4-Star Rentals. Model marker 4.5 on Stock Island. These guys are really good. That's 4-Star Rentals. Go see them soon.
Check us out. What Colonel Ollie North says is absolutely true. We're locally owned and operated. We offer a fleet of delivery trucks for fast all-in-one delivery. 4-Star Rentals is the oldest tool rental and party store in the Florida Keys. We make it easy to get that job done for that party or very special event. We're located at mile marker 4.5 in Key West, or just call us and we'll come to you. 4-Star Rentals, 294-7171. That's 294-7171. Remember, Colonel Ollie North never lies.
Historic Pepe's Cafe in Key West, founded in 1909, still does things the old way. Diachronic, if you will. How about fresh squeezed juices? Think how good that margarita or greyhound will taste. Blue Point oysters shuck to order because oysters work better that way. Fresh breads and outstanding specials in an eatery that opened the same year Ole Evinrude invented the first outboard motor. And get a jump on someone's birthday and check out our retail offerings for some great gift ideas. Pepe's Cafe, Old Town Key West, of course.
Get ready to laugh out loud with the Greenhouse Giggles. Brought to you by the Greenhouse Dispensaries of Florida. Monday through Friday, it's a hand-picked lineup of timeless TV comedy that guarantees smiles, chuckles, and full-on giggles. Each episode features legendary performers like Red Skelton, Bob Hope, The Three Stooges, Betty White, George Burns, Milton Berle, Dick Van Dyke, and so many more. So catch the giggles for Greenhouse Giggles, weekdays 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Sponsored by the Greenhouse, here on Keys Living TV.
This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. Good morning to you. And we are going to say good morning to John Dick, school board member, Monroe County School Board. Good morning to you, sir.
Hey, good morning, Michael, and thank you very much for having me on your program again.
And thank you, sir, for being here. Thank you so very much for your service to our country. We have you partially to thank for 250 years of freedom. So thank you for your valiant service. Thank you also for a number of years of service to our county as a school board member. You will be missed, sir.
Yeah, well, I guess that depends on who you ask.
Well, well, if you didn't make somebody a little bit ruffle their feathers, then you probably didn't do your job, because you got to take a stand somewhere. But yeah,
I think we ruffled a few feathers over my time on the board. That's for sure.
I think you came out of it just fine.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. I feel the same way. I'm very proud of what we did and what we accomplished, and in many fields and in many instances over the years. So I'm very satisfied.
Yes, sir. And we will have more discussions to recap your service and a lot of the accomplishments that happened. So many things involving infrastructure and the system overall and the achievements. And once again, we do want to congratulate you, the board, all the administration, all the teachers, and our superintendent of schools wrapping up his first his academic year with an A rating once again. Monroe County School District has again earned that A district rating. Achievement reflects the hard work, dedication, and commitment of the students, teachers, staff, administrators, families, and community partners. Even though that bar was raised and the standards to hit A rating were also raised, we managed to achieve it once again. So congratulations.
Yeah, that's very good, and you're right about the bar being raised, and I'm sure they're going to raise it again for the following year. So, and we do have the commitment from our superintendent. The new superintendent is A rating is not enough. He wants to be the #1 A-rated district in the state of Florida. So
yes,
I like the challenge, and I think if anybody's capable of leading that, it's him. And also I think as he's building the staff around it, that we'll have the staff that'll make it happen.
Well, yes, he also strives for excellence, and again, we thank him for his many years of very decorated military service, and now serving our community as well. And I know that has made him quietly competitive, so I know that he will continue to look for excellence and deliver excellence in our school district, and we're looking forward to that happening over a number of years. So we have a couple of things to talk about as far as updates go. I think a number of us maybe thought that we wouldn't still be talking about Founders Park at this point, but we are. And so here we go again. But,
Founders Park. Oh, let me scratch my head. Where is that?
It seems like we've been talking, Founders is maybe appropriate, with revolutionary founders. Yeah, exactly. Was it our country's founders, or I'm not sure. It's been going on a while, but anyway, maybe for good reason. But we have another discussion coming up with the to backtrack a little bit. The project to upgrade Isla Morada's Founders Park baseball field hasn't come to completion just yet. Differences over an agreement between the village and Monroe County School District. So, what is next? I think we have another collaborative meeting that we're looking at to try to
They're
hash.
looking to have a joint meeting of the school board and the city of Isla Morada. So now that'll be 10 people there and the superintendent and the village manager, and then I'm sure lawyers from both sides. So, if they couldn't come to agreement previously, do you think putting all the people in the same room is going to get the agreement? I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, but of course, I will go along with it and I'll do my best. I just, think that there might be people on both sides of the issue that really don't want this to happen. And for whatever reason, I don't know. It just, when you think everything is going to go forward, it just seems there's two steps backwards, and it's just mind-boggling. I know, between myself as the chairman of the board and Don Horton as the city mayor, we would have easily gotten together and resolved this, but then you got to take it back to your prospective groups, and it just seems that no matter what happens, it's not going to work. So. But again, I do understand some of it. The organizations, both of them, have to really make sure they protect the interest of their organization. And you can't really go on, oh, well, I trust these people, because none of us will be there in the coming years. Every election will be changed. The board will change. The board people are limited now to two terms anyway. So school board members, I'm not sure whether Isla Morada has that, but Isla Morada seems to change council members quite often.
Yeah, and they now have some continuity with their village manager. But yeah, the council members do. That is still being talked about as far as the election process cycles and all that.
And city managers and school superintendents change. So the agreement will be made by people at one point, and if it is made, but it'll be carrying, down through a whole lot of other people in the future. And, we want to make sure that they would look at the agreement. The school board people and the city of Isla Morada people will want their future members to be satisfied with the agreement that was put forth before they got on there. So I understand that, but
Well,
hopefully we get this done.
yeah, and for those who are not familiar, if you're new to the area or whatever, Founders Park is owned by the city of Isle Morada, and Coral Shores and the school district have used the baseball field there for numerous years. School district had proposed, last count I saw, $3.8 million in upgrades, including new fencing and dugouts and new artificial surface on the field. That was one point of contention with some members of the community, et cetera. But, so then some of the details, I guess, got bogged down a little bit, but it does look like there's going to be a joint meeting coming up. And some would indicate that that's a hint that some parties want to get this done, but it has dragged on for a while. Yes.
Yeah, I really do want to see this happen. Unfortunately, one thing, it's all taxpayers' money, whether it's the school board or the city of Isla Morada, the money is coming from the taxpayers. So we need to be aware of that. To me, we do things in each area. In each area, we spend more money over here, we spend more money over there, but in the end, it works out. And it's really for all the people in Monroe County. And so I don't feel bad about that. We have a council of people that advise us, and we have people that advise us on construction, and they've gone through this contract. And this is people from up and down the Keys. We have, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 10 people on it, on that committee, and they're not members of the school district, but they've looked at this contract that we have for that, and they feel it's a very It's the proper contract. It's the right amount of money. So this is an independent voice looking at that for us. So I feel that's okay. It's just a matter of what is going to be who's responsible for what and when and how. Of course, it's a joint use facility. The city will be using it half of the year under their control, and we will use it about half of the year under our control. So, uh,
Hmm.
it's just, but again, it's whatever costs are going to be involved, it's going to come from the taxpayers. I mean, it's local funds, and of course, we will always try to get grants for certain things, and that happens, and I'm sure the city does that also, but. And even grants where they really come from taxpayers. Any money coming from anywheres in the government is coming from taxpayers.
Well, yeah. Again, John Dick, he is school board member, District 4, Monroe County School District on Good Morning Keys. And John, you're always talking about and practicing fiscal responsibility as far as taxpayers' dollars. I'm sure we
Right.
do have some budget hearings coming up here. It seems like every entity is going through preparations for the upcoming year. Luckily, if I'm not mistaken, any property tax reform will not include an effect on school board or school
Correct.
taxes, right?
Correct. That the school districts are not going to be involved in it at this time, but I think, who knows what the future will hold. School districts should be aware that the state is looking to, control spending, and I'm sure they're going to come looking into the school districts a lot more than they have in the past. Usually their audits, I mean, the school districts get audited every year,
Mhm.
but the audits are really designed to, okay, you're supposed to use this money in capital. Did you use it in capital? Are all your numbers adding up right? Is all the money being correctly, spent in for what it said it is? But they don't look into saying, like, for instance, do you have too many administrators? Do you have too many teachers? Are your classrooms too small? Uh, they don't look into that. And I have a feeling that's going to change, and they're going to come and look. Not only are you doing the right thing with the money, is it all legal, but are you being, conscious of spending, the least amount? So I believe, and our district is on top of that. We've been looking into that. I've been after that from the day I got on the board. Don't watch the positions, the amount of positions you have.
Mhm.
Don't let them expand with if you don't have more need for them. Don't create jobs when they're not needed. And
Right.
unfortunately, that did happen with the COVID funds that the government was just throwing at school districts. Federal funds were coming in just throwing, and you had to spend it,
Yeah.
and then you create jobs. Now, do some of them benefit? Yeah, but how much do they benefit? We were getting along without them. So again, we've got to trim those down, and we have been. But
Mhm.
I can understand. They want to keep an eye on everything, and as we see, look, thankfully, I don't see any instances of fraud like you see in some of those Medicare programs and all that
Uh,
other stuff. I mean, that to
mm,
me is atrocious what we see about.
oh,
But again, we need school districts need to tighten up and watch their spending.
yeah.
And I believe we do a good job of it.
Well, yeah, it has been pretty apparent that that's been continuing for some time. And again, we thank you for that fiscal responsibility as well. It is John Dick. He is school board member District 4 on Good Morning Keys. So, am I seeing this right? We've got two upcoming school board meetings, one within a week of each other. The 20.
Yeah, we do that every July. It's part of it's, what's really we get our budget numbers from the state late. Uh, we have to hire our people for the year by July 1st and, to fill the position. All the teachers that we had last year that we're keeping, they've already been, told they're coming back. Uh, and you don't know how much money you have. It's really bizarro the way it's set up because school districts have to hire all their personnel before they really truly know how much funding they're going to have and what's available. So, but
Yeah.
we've already we've always been able to handle that situation. But yeah, now of course we don't know how many students we're going to have. We have a good idea, but that can change as people decide they're not coming here, or God forbid, we have a big storm come through here and do some serious damage, and all of a sudden we might have a whole lot less students, or the opposite.
Yeah. Well,
When Andrew went through in
mm,
Miami, next thing you know, I think we gained, I don't know, 700, 800 students. I think the people that lived
wow.
in the lower part of Miami, where the schools and everything were damaged. Some of them were moved down or had friends and got into the Keys.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about enrollment numbers and what we might expect, and they are going down statewide. We're seeing a bit of a decrease here as a result as well. But how are we doing as far as recruitment? You had mentioned, doing the hiring in advance of the school
That's
year. Last year we did pretty well, but this year, how are we?
Well, so far, I mean, I'm not hearing any serious issues yet because there's still plenty of time, but I know of already cases where a person was hired, meaning, they sent in a resume and were interviewed and hired and has already come back to their prospective school and said, can't find a place to live and I won't be able to handle it down here on that. So that's already happened. And that, of course, is the serious thing. It's better to happen sooner than later, but at times we have people that wind up telling us on the first day of school, hey, I can't make it here. I can't do it. It's too expensive. I can't find a place to live.
Well, we are moving forward on Trumbo Point, though, eventually coming up with some affordable housing solutions for
Right.
staff and teachers and the like. Look, finally had some movement on that as well. So
Yeah,
some
that
help from the
that'll
state. So
happen.
that is,
Of course, yeah. But
yeah,
that's it's
yeah.
just it's a problem. I think didn't I think if I remember correctly, last year we started the year with two or three spots still open. Does that sound familiar?
I think so. It
I
does, but
mean, and that
it
was
comes
like
to
a
mind.
record, you
Yes,
know.
yes, it was a low number, a very low number. And I was going to say, we don't have much time to fill those remaining vacancies. New teachers report in just a few weeks, August 3rd already. Gee whiz.
Right,
So,
right. So I mean, we still have things happen and but, it's every principal and in the school district is concerned on that, and you do everything you can. We hook up with realtors, and we're always asking the community, do you have a place for people to move in at a reasonable rent, and it's tough. I mean, and of course, we're not the only employer that has that issue. It's everybody. So it's
yes,
tough.
yeah.
It's really
You and
yeah.
I are not going to solve that problem this morning. We'd like
No,
to, but we're going
no, no. If I did, they'd want me to stay on the school board.
to. They would.
But it's too
Well,
late
20,
now. I'm not going to be on it. It's already done. So 20 years is a long
yeah.
time, Michael.
20 years is a long time. And again, you have a lot of accomplishments to show for it. So many different things that have happened over those 20 years that have led up to us being an A-rated school district. So we want to thank you for that service, sir.
Well, I want to thank you for your service. You're always thanking me, but we know that you've served your country, and thank you very much for that.
Well, my pleasure, my pleasure. But I'm humbled by people like you for sure. So I know again we've got a lot of meetings to get ready for the Founders Park discussions, two school board meetings coming up in the immediate future, and then we'll be talking about giving you a little more time to go fishing. But is there anything else we should mention at this time, sir?
Let's see. Well, if any to your listeners, anybody knows a place for somebody to live, please call the school district or the local school in your area and let them know. And of course, new people that are moving down here with children, please get into the school district and register, and this way we know what's going on. But
Yep.
this is a good school district, and you'll be satisfied with the education you'll get here.
Yeah, we keep emphasizing that an A-rated school district right here in Monroe County. It is an excellent place
Right? We don't
to nurture and educate your children. So
we don't have
absolutely.
the issues that you see happening in some of those districts up in well, especially around the city of Washington. Those ones up there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No,
We
there's
have none of those issues here, or
no.
California. We're not California either.
Thank goodness. Yes, and we are grateful for that as well. Kindergarten registration has already occurred, I believe, for
Yes,
the
but you
but
can still do
I'm
it.
do it. Yep, absolutely. So again, as you said, if you're new to the area, you can go right to keyschools.com to find all of those resources. And by the way, this threw me for a loop. The kindergarten class is the class of 2039, by the way.
Um,
That's sounds like a big number, but
Hey, I went to 20 years of graduations, went to all three high schools every year. So I've seen a lot of people in Monroe County graduate. So
you have, and some of them are even back here as principals now as well. So
yep,
that's
yep. There's
all
principals,
three,
there's a
all three
lot of
schools.
staff members in our school district now. Actually, the three high schools, the principal of each of the high schools graduated from that school. And that's
They're alums. Yeah.
and it shows, that they come back, they stay here, or and contribute. And there's a lot of staff members in our schools that have graduated from those schools, and so it's very good. And what makes it easy for them is they've already got living conditions here, so they know what it's like to
Mhm.
live here, and they probably have a connection. They're getting their parents' house or whatever.
Yep.
But so it is a little benefit when somebody applies for a job and they say, "Well, I've been living here for 5 years." Oh, that's great.
No, there's a lot of committed people who make up the Monroe County School District, and we thank them for that. And again, thank you again, sir. We'll let you get back to your day, and we look forward to talking again soon.
Thank you very much, Michael. Have a great day.
Yes, sir. Thank you so very much. John Dick, he is school board member, District 4 for the past 20 years. Thank you so much for that and many other levels of service, Mr. John Dick. It is Keys Talk, 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. We return with more Good Morning Keys in a moment.
Get ready to laugh out loud with the Greenhouse Giggles. Brought to you by the Greenhouse Dispensaries of Florida. Monday through Friday, it's a hand-picked lineup of timeless TV comedy that guarantees smiles, chuckles, and full-on giggles. Each episode features legendary performers like Red Skelton, Bob Hope, The Three Stooges, Betty White, George Burns, Milton Berle, Dick Van Dyke, and so many more. So catch the giggles for Greenhouse Giggles, weekdays 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Sponsored by the Greenhouse, here on Keys Living TV.
Are you frustrated by weight gain even though you constantly diet? Do you have low energy or always feel tired? It could be hormonal imbalance. Hormonal imbalances, especially as we age, can be the cause of depression, weight gain, mood swings, decreased libido, and many other chronic conditions. At Keys Med Spa, we have helped thousands of women and men regain their hormonal balance with BioT, bioidentical hormone optimization therapy, and the results are life-changing. Keys Med Spa BioT hormone therapy is safe, effective, painless, and affordable. And the big difference at Keys Med Spa, this is all overseen by renowned Dr. Peterson, who has had a medical practice in the Keys for over 27 years. Cool sculpting, Botox, skin treatments, BioT hormone therapy, and more. Dr. Peterson and his team are here to help you maintain your youthful glow and vitality. To see if BioT hormone therapy is right for you, call Keys Med Spa today at 305-587-9183.
The Greenhouse. Have you been there yet? We even spell it with 3 E's to help you smile when you say it. That's our goal. We carry the largest selection of hemp-derived THC and CBD products in Monroe County. If you've been taking medication for anxiety, depression, inflammation, lack of sleep, or muscle and joint pain and it's just not working, or you don't like the side effects, we can help. If you're looking to chill, relax, escape, focus, or even break out into euphoric fits of laughter, we can help there too. No medical card is needed. You just have to be 21 or over. Our 3 locations are open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. In Key West, we're at 431 Front Street, just in front of Mallory Square. In Marathon, you can find us at mile marker 52 at 10875 Overseas Highway. In Key Largo, we're at 99304 Overseas Highway in the middle of the road. Swing on by, share your goals with us, and we'll recommend a product to help you reach them. And we back our recommendations with a 100% money-back guarantee. The Greenhouse. Stop on by and find out what the buzz is all about today.
Visit one of the 12 locations of the Greenhouse, including 9 in the Keys and featuring their newest store at 3128 North Roosevelt, Key West.
Hey, Key West, Danny Hughes here from Two Friends. Really from Two Friends. So Maura and I were sitting at breakfast in the bar, listening to live music at 8:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. She's about to enjoy some huevos rancheros and me shrimp and grits with fried oysters. Heart healthy. And Maura says, Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore. It was perfect because we didn't move here because Key West is like a lot of other places. We moved here because it isn't like any other place on earth. So meet your friends or make your friends at Two Friends, 512 Front Street in Old Town Key West or twofriends.com.
If it's happening in the Keys, you will hear about it here. This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. Good morning, Keys. We are going to say good morning to our friend Sheriff Rick Ramsay is with us again this morning on this Monday morning. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Michael. Good morning to your listeners. I'm doing wonderful. Just outside of Key West, heading to my office, but a beautiful day here in Paradise and nice weekend. So we're lucky.
Yeah, we are. Well, we were coming off of July 4th weekend last time we spoke. That was a really busy week. Not quite as busy as that this past week, but again, law enforcement always in the line of duty and always dealing with some people who may become combative at times. We were going to talk about a 73-year-old Tavernier man. He was arrested last week. This arrest, kicked deputy, now, some people may not be fully aware of the HALO law, but that is a measure that establishes a 25-foot protective zone around first responders. So we need to emphasize the need to abide by that law. And this individual found out that there's a reason for that. You do need to abide by the HALO law.
Michael, thank you for bringing that up. Important. But this started out as the code enforcement problem. Oleander County right away. Code enforcement after receiving complaints there and stop vehicles with a 30 days ample time to figure out where to move their trail. After 30 days, there were still a few that not morning, and we're still there. I think the truck, I think there's on a trailer and stuff like that. Code enforcement went out there, now needed assistance of law enforcement for tow reasons and safety. So we went out with them, and while we were starting to do our jobs, Sheriff's Office code male very angry, although none of the vehicles were his, but he was angry that the county was taking action on these people who were using the right-of-ways for storage.
Mm-hmm.
He started getting verbally combative, making gestures towards officers, getting up in their face. Florida has what's called the HALO law, which, as you said, it protects distance around a law enforcement officer in the performance of his or her duties. You cannot come within 25 feet of an officer when told to back off, or you violate state law, you commit a crime.
Mm-hmm.
So the officers told him to step back, take away, to have a 25-foot berth. To no avail. This person just continued to be angry and violent and aggressive. Some point in time, we're going to arrest him and detain him. He became more violent, started kicking, thrashing, pulling away. Ultimately, taken down to the ground. A scuffle took place. Eventually, he was handcuffed, secured. We had to take him to the hospital, get him medically cleared because he had some abrasions and some scrapes from being on the ground, tossing around with deputies. And he was charged with, like you said, multiple counts of resisting arrest, as well as violation of the HALO law. For nothing, again, you have a dog in a race. This was not his call, his battle, his argument. Why he elected to interject himself, I do not know. But for every action, and there's a reaction, and our officers are not going to let themselves be hurt, harmed, or not do their jobs because of people like this. So this is a poor decision made off of emotion, not logic. A logical thinker would say, I'm glad they're getting these cars are being used for storage in front of my house out of here, and the logical person would say, I'm not going to be out there fighting with police officers and disobeying command for no reason. But we deal with this. This is illogical thinking, sometimes emotional thinking, sometimes we hope logical thinking. But sheriff's office, if everyone was using logical thinking, I probably wouldn't have a job.
It is job security having illogical and emotional reactionary thinking, and people should reconsider before they act. But in this case, the Halo law was not abided by, was violated, and that is there to protect our first responders and our officers and deputies. And again, it's being enforced in this case for good reason. As Sheriff Rick Ramsay, Sheriff of Monroe County, with us on Good Morning Keys. Another case last week, a 44-year-old man from Margate, Florida. He was arrested for stealing attempted to steal more than $4,000 of alcohol from a Sutherland Key residence via the fraudulent use of credit cards. He apparently called the business claiming to want to order a bunch of alcohol for a upcoming wedding. A number of different cards he was trying to use were declined. One eventually was successful, but it was not his. So fraud charges are pending.
Yeah, a lot of red flags here. This was an online purchase for a wedding, allegedly. The total was about $4,100 about, and he wanted to use credit cards. And as you said, the first several credit cards came back declined. So that should have been a red flag to the vendor right away that there's something wrong here to have all these credit cards being declined. And if your cards are being declined, can you really 41 with alcohol? Probably not. Eventually, the third or fourth card did get approved initially. So the transaction went through, and the person, will receive the alcohol. And then sometime later, the charge was disputed by the actual owner of the credit card, who had later on reported the card as a fraudulent use. So this person, the first few cards didn't go fraudulent as well, and or stolen. And so then we had to go back through and try to identify who this person was, which wasn't easy. The person's a 44-year-old male from Broward County. So we out of Margate, and we eventually did identify this person, did get a warrant for the arrest, and working with our friends in the Broward County area, was able to effect an arrest on him. And this is back in April when this complaint took place. So, these are challenging. Again, you've got someone wants to give you a card and 2 or 3 are declined. I don't know if I would take another one.
Yeah. Well, again, that would be sensical. But again, luckily, this case was brought to a conclusion and charges are pending as a result. Also, we had a package containing suspected marijuana. Again, the drugs are continuing to be out there in our community, and you are working hard to keep them at bay. About a kilogram of marijuana suspected of that. It by mile marker 77.5 came ashore last week, wrapped in a manner consistent with previous narcotic smuggling packages, turned over to U.S. Border Patrol for further investigation. So some of these packages with specific markings, etc., are still coming ashore.
We was talking about a week or so in your show, we talked about drugs found. It's just to say that drugs are alive and, are continuing to flow through the Caribbean. This is a corridor for drugs, so it's not uncommon that we have workshops, stuff found offshore behind canals or on beaches. This was a resident around the 77.5 mile marker who did find this on the beach, reported it, turned it over to the sheriff's office. Ultimately, we did turn it over to the federal government. It was packaged because they they park early.
Yeah.
Both packages have on the outside of the package indicated the problem came from the same load. And a lot of times you see markings on these kilos of drugs, whatever they may be. They could be numbers, they could be skull and crossbones, they could be, in this case, a lion. We've seen all kinds of different stuff. A lot of times people believe that this is the person, the drug, the cartels. The reality is those outside external markings generally are designating who the load is going to. Because if you have someone smuggling, 1,000 kilos, well, a person may not be buying all 1,000. There may be 300 going to this person, 300 to the next person, and 400 to another person. So they put specific markings in outside the kilos so they know what's the skull and crossbones, and it could be, Superman logo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they know that Superman goes to this guy, Lion goes to that guy, and the skull and crossbone goes to this woman or whoever it may be. So those are markings that are identified who's receiving the load. The government then takes it, they look at it, they analyze, try and determine what region, see how long they think it's been in the water based on algae, maybe small little barnacles, whatnot, to determine a basic time they think it was actually hit the water. They go back through their intelligence to try to see if they were aware of a load that was supposed to be coming in that may have got disrupted, see if they can think this is that load, whether they believe the load made it or didn't make it. So it's basically the government uses it for intelligence gathering. After that is destroyed, the chance of finding a person who once owned the drugs that were being imported to the U.S. are about zero. And most of those drugs are, you can't really fingerprint stuff's been in the water for 2 weeks, and the fingerprints are going to come back. They're not going to come back most of the time because they're from foreign third world countries whose fingerprints aren't on file. Mm-hmm. Just a lot of reasons why it's just almost impossible to prove some drugs found on the beach. Yeah. Who owned it?
Sheriff Rick Keys. One final story that came in after you and I spoke last week on Monday: an intoxicated 35-year-old Marathon woman arrested after threatening deputies with a knife. No injuries reported, luckily, but charged with disorderly intoxication, which probably led to this action. But also it states the case again and the importance of the HALO law. Our deputies, law enforcement, are put in harm's way, and this person was threatening your deputies with a knife on multiple occasions. She is now in jail.
Yeah, this woman is, out in front of the Brass Monkey, which we've talked about in the past. Has some unusual characters and some issues.
Yeah,
but she was in a dispute with a male in front of the Brass Monkey, and that's when we got called for a disturbance. A woman with a knife. She was threatening a male and swinging it on. So we responded to that. Well, we encountered her. She was very combative, non-compliant, put the knife down, then picked it back up and was, swinging the knife around and, just really was in a unusual state between probably alcohol and or substance abuse. And just was acting bizarre, irrational, which makes it a very, very dangerous situation when you've got a irrational armed himself with a knife and is making threats to bodily harm. Those are really scary situations. So our officers did a really good job to try to de-escalate the situation, use less than lethal weapons to try to, secure that weapon from her. Ultimately, we were able to separate her from the weapon, handcuff, arrest her, and bring her down to MCJ where she needs to be. So again, this was, I think, late in the afternoon, but it still shows you just how difficult these things can be. This is like 4:30 in the afternoon. You don't think much happens at 4:30, but we do have this woman who, heavily intoxicated with a knife. That is a direct present officers. So she was arrested for aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, resisting arrest, and disorderly intoxication charges. So again, a good job by our team members to deal with this call, and she's where she needs to be. at MCJ.
Absolutely. Well, again, Rick Ramsay, Sheriff of Monroe County, with us on Good Morning Keys. Sir, I know you have another busy day to get to. Is there anything else we should mention at this particular time, sir?
Well, we just want to highlight a National Night Out is coming up here soon.
Yes.
You know how important that is. That's our effort to go out and continue to build everlasting relationships with our citizens, partnerships with other communities. And we're going to be out here in 4 parts of the county when partner with Key West PD down here in Key West. And we just want to get together with our citizens and show them what the sheriff's office has to offer, what we're about, how diverse we are, make new friends, you know, build these everlasting relationships. So that will be coming up. We'll talk about it more, but on people's radar. I always tell them, if you haven't gone, it's a good time to come out and meet some really good people that are working hard to protect you and your families each and every day.
Absolutely. Tuesday, August 4th is the date for National Night Out. Thank you for that reminder. We will continue to highlight that as the date approaches. Again, another very important part of the Sheriff's Office and the initiative of community outreach and community partnerships. So thank you for that reminder, sir. With that, you have a very safe day out there. We appreciate your service so very much and that of your entire department. We will talk again soon, sir.
Okay, my friend Michael, have a good day. Listeners all, thank you for each and every one of what you do every day and your friendship and partnership, everybody.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good one. Take care. Right. Bye now. Sheriff Rick Ramsay, Sheriff of Monroe County, Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. We are getting set for Glenn Beck coming your way here momentarily, followed by Clay and Buck, Sean Hannity at 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, Drew Steele, 6 o'clock, Mark Levin, 9 o'clock, Jesse Kelly. Breaking news as soon as it happens. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys.